Hey guys, this video is about depression. Depression is quite an interesting topic. There's a lot of stigma around depression. In this video, I want to explain exactly what depression is, what is causing depression, and for those that are trying to find a way out of it, I want to give you that way out of it on this video. So, with depression, what I learned a couple of years ago is that there is a stigma around talking about depression. There is a lot of information out there that's helpful. There's a lot of information out there that's not so helpful. I wanted to put together this video because I know I can help people that are going through depression. And so this video is for you. If you're someone that is dealing with depression and you want some help with how to dissolve that and move through that, then this is for you. If you're somebody who is going through depression right now, but you're not really wanting to move through it and you're happy with where you're at right now, then this video isn't for you. I'm only wanting to speak to people that are actually wanting to actively move through their depression. So for those people, I want to explain exactly what's going on for you right now, because it can be a confusing thing. When I speak to people who are feeling depressed, the first thing I'll say to them is depression is an emotion, but you're separate to that emotion. So a lot of people will say, I'm depressed, I'm feeling down. What I want to say to those people is, you are not the emotion. So that's the first thing. You want to separate yourself. You want to realize that you're a human being, and right now you're doing something labeled as a depression. So you can say you're doing a depression. You're a being, but you have a be, a do, and a have. The being is you, who you are. The doing is what you're choosing to do in your perception, which in this moment, you're doing a depression. And then obviously you're having the objects and tangible things around you that you have. So that's the first distinction I want to make. You're a human being that's doing this thing called depression, and you may or may not recognize how to move through it. So that's the first point. With depression, what I want to explain here is exactly what's going on for you so you can better understand it. And when you understand what's going on, now you can go and do something about it. So what's actually going on in depression, you can never have a depression unless you've got a comparison in your mind. So in the mind of somebody that's doing a depression, is they're comparing their current reality, their current state, to an ideal state or an ideal situation. So I'm going to explain that a little bit more. So let's say that you're in a job right now and you don't really like the job, okay? It doesn't really match up with your values 100%, but you're in the job. And let's say that you're comparing that job to your ideal dream fantasy job. Now this ideal fantasy job, maybe you're completely independent, maybe you're able to travel whenever you like, you're able to work the hours, you're able to determine your own income. By comparison, this ideal fantasy job compared to your current job, when you're doing the current job compared to the fantasy, you're going to be feeling a bit down and a bit depressed. You might have this in a relationship. If you're with someone in a relationship and you're comparing this person that has two sides to them, positive and negative in your perception. Let's say that you're comparing them to somebody that you met once very briefly and you had let's say you had a fling with them and it was an amazing time. You've got all these positive associations with this person and you're comparing it to your current partner and you're feeling down and depressed about the current partner. Because in your mind, you've got a comparison between this person and this other person, and by contrast, you're going to be feeling down about it. Another example of depression is having an unrealistic expectation on yourself. So if you're expecting yourself to achieve something that's not really in line with what you truly value, you're not going to be very good at it. You're not really going to achieve it. This is commonly when you're looking up to someone in your environment and you might have a leader or a mentor and you look up to this person and they do certain things that are important to them, but those things aren't really important to you. If you expect yourself to do those things, when you do them, you're going to be pretty bad at them. And in your mind, because they're not valuable to you, you're not going to be as good as this person who really values it. Yeah. So if you're trying to do things that are not valuable to you, and you're comparing your result to this person's result, by contrast, you're going to be feeling down and you're going to be feeling depressed. Let's say that you're in an environment and it's a very uninspired environment, and in that moment you're comparing your environment to this environment that you'd love to be in, how you would where you would absolutely love to be in your life, the environment. By contrast, the environment that you're in is going to be, again, you're going to be feeling down and depressed about it. So that's depression. Depression is the comparison of your current state, your current reality, which has positives and has negatives, to a ideal or a fantasy state or reality that in your mind, the grass is green over here. It's all positive, there's no negative to it. But we all know in reality, if you eventually get to that point, you're going to realize, hey, this thing's got positive and negatives like everything else in life. But in your perception in the moment, this thing's all good. Your reality, by contrast, is all bad. And with this contrast going on in your mind, with this comparison going on, you're feeling down, you're feeling depressed. You want to be over there, and this is painful being over here. So that's what's happening in depression. Once you recognize what's actually going on, that gives you a lot of power, because you don't have these people telling you that it's a genetic thing, that it's outside of your control, that all you can do is take a drug. You don't have these people robbing you of your accountability. Once you recognize what's going on, you can do something about it. So, okay, once you recognize what's actually happening, it's a comparison in your mind. What you can then do is you can ask yourself questions to bring your awareness to what you're not aware of in that moment. So let's take the person who is in the unsatisfying job. Okay? So this person, they're comparing their current job to their ideal dream job. Now, as long as this ideal dream job is all positive and no negative, compared to their reality, which has both sides, positive and negative, by contrast, they're going to be feeling down. And so what you would need to do is you need to ask this ideal dream job, what are the downsides to it? What are the drawbacks? If I had this amazing job, what are the things that I wouldn't like about it? And there's always going to be a downside. It's just not in your awareness in that moment. So when you start to ask yourself, well, what are the drawbacks of this thing that is amazing? It goes from all positive to positive and negative. And you start to bring it out of a fantasy down and ground it into reality. As soon as you see your current job compared to the reality of this other job, you still might want to go over to this job. But when you can see that both of them have got equal positives and negatives, you're not going to have that depression by contrast. Now you can apply this to relationships, you can apply this to socio-economic situations. There's benefits and drawbacks of having a lot of money and being wealthy and well off, and having a low amount of money and not being wealthy and well off. There's equal positive and negatives in every situation. So I wanted to make this video because there's a lot of stigma around depression. People don't talk about depression. I wanted to, if you're someone out there that's going through this right now and you feel lost and you don't have anyone telling you what's going on, I wanted to let you know what's going on. So now you have the power, and if you want to make a change, you can make a change. For some people, they're in that state and they're not ready to make a change yet, and that's okay as well. But the purpose of this video was to explain to you exactly what's happening in your perception, and then to give you the responsibility that, hey, if you want to do something about it and you want to change it, well, now you can. So I hope you got something out of this video, and I'll see you on the next video.